The first morning I woke up in my beach house, I made myself a single cup of coffee, walked out to the deck in my robe, and cried. Not from sadness, from the sheer, staggering relief of it. 14 years of overtime shifts, skipped vacations, packed lunches, and saying no asterisk to everything that wasn't the savings account had finally crystallized into this. The sound of waves, the smell of salt, and not one single person asking anything of me. That lasted 11 days. Then Linda called. Let me tell you about Linda. Linda is my sister-in-law, which technically means she is family, and family, as Linda has reminded me approximately 400 times since I married her brother, means everything asterisk. Linda is the kind of woman who treats every gathering like a production she is both directing and starring in. She has a voice that fills rooms it hasn't even entered yet. She sends group texts at 6 a.m. with the subject line, exciting news. And the exciting news is always, somehow, about something you are now obligated to participate in. Linda also has a gift, and I mean this in the darkest possible sense of the word, for making her plans sound like they were your idea to begin with. When she called that Tuesday, her voice was honeyed and warm. Oh my asterisk gosh asterisk, Renee, the pictures you posted of the house, it is stunning asterisk. You must be so proud of yourself. I should have hung up right then. Thank you, I said instead, because I am a reasonable adult who was raised to be polite to family. A beach house, she sighed, like I'd just described a sunset. You know what would be so asterisk fun? If some of us came to visit, just a little family trip, nothing major, just the inner circle. Sure, I said carefully. Maybe in the fall when it's quieter, I'm still getting settled. I was thinking the 4th of July weekend. I paused. That's in 3 weeks, Linda. I know, isn't it perfect? Everyone already has the time off. How many people are we talking? There was a pause just a half beat too long. Just the family. The family, as it turned out, was 26 people. I found this out not from Linda directly, but from a Google Doc she shared with me titled asterisk, Beach House Extravaganza, Master Planning Sheet. It had tabs, a asterisk tab for the meal plan, a tab for the activity schedule, a tab for a duty roster, her words, that listed me, under the heading asterisk host asterisk, as responsible for breakfast each morning, beach setup, towel management, coordinating dinners, grocery runs, and what was described only as general hospitality. 26 people, in my 1,100-square-foot beach house, for 4 days. I sat at my kitchen table for a long time, reading that Google Doc with the particular stillness of someone who has just defused a bomb, or is about to become one. My husband, Dave, came in, looked at my face, and immediately said, "What did Linda do?" I turned the laptop toward him. He read for a moment, then he said very quietly, "Oh no." "Oh no," I agreed. "She means well," he started, and I held up one hand. "Dave, there is a tab called Duty Roster. My name is on it 12 times. He closed the laptop gently, the way you close the lid of something you'd rather not see again. "I'll talk to her." He talked to her. Linda cried. Then she called me to tell me she was asterisk so sorry I felt asterisk overwhelmed asterisk, and that she had only been trying to asterisk help asterisk by organizing things, and that she hoped I wasn't going to make this into a asterisk whole thing, because the kids were asterisk so excited, and it would asterisk break their hearts if it fell through. There it was, the kids, Linda's secret weapon deployed with sniper precision. I want to be clear, I like kids. I even like Linda's kids, who are chaotic but genuinely funny. What I do not like is being maneuvered through them as an emotional hostage. I slept badly that night. I lay in my beautiful bedroom with the windows open and the ocean breathing just outside, and I thought about the 14 years. I thought about every Friday night I'd worked late while other people went to dinner. I thought about the vacation I'd planned to Italy 6 years ago and canceled because the savings account wasn't ready. I thought about what it had cost me, specifically and concretely, to be lying in that bed in that house. And I thought about whether I was really going to spend the weekend I'd been working toward for over a decade, refilling a chip bowl for 26 people who thought RSVP was optional. I got up, made tea, and sat with it until I knew what I wanted to say. I called Linda the next morning, before she could call me. I love you, I said, and I want to be honest with you because that's what family is for. Linda made a small sound of agreement, slightly wary. The house sleeps 8 comfortably. I am willing to host 8 people. I am also willing to help you find a rental property nearby that could accommodate the rest of the group. I actually looked last night, and there are 2 available that weekend within half a mile. Everyone could be together for meals and the beach, but have actual space to sleep. Silence. I am not, I continued, keeping my voice even, going to be the coordinator, the chef, or the cleaning staff for 26 people. If anyone comes to my house, we share responsibilities equally. I made a version of your Google Doc. I had, in fact, stayed up until midnight making a revised version. I sent it to your email. More silence. Renee, Linda finally said, I feel like you're being. I'm being clear, I said. I think it's kinder than letting it build and blowing up at someone on the 4th of July. There was a long pause, and then, surprisingly, Linda laughed, a small, slightly deflated sound. The duty roster was a lot, wasn't it? It was a lot, Linda. I just get excited, and then I plan and I don't. I forget to ask people if they want the plan. I know, I said, and I meant it. That was the thing about Linda. She wasn't malicious. She was a runaway train that had never been given a reason to slow down. In the end, 8 people came. Linda, her husband, their 2 kids, Dave's parents, and Dave's brother and his wife. We grilled on the deck. The kids shrieked into the waves until sundown. Someone brought a card game that turned absurdly competitive and had Dave's normally reserved mother threatening to flip the table. Linda, to her credit, did the dishes twice without being asked. On the last morning, she stood next to me on the deck with her own cup of coffee and looked at the water. This is really something, she said, quietly without performance. Yeah, I said, it is. We stood there for a while, just the 2 of us and the sound of the water, and I felt something loosen in my chest, not forgiveness exactly, because there was nothing that serious to forgive. Just the relief of having said the true thing and survived it. The beach house was still mine. The mornings were still mine. I had just learned, finally, that mine asterisk was a sentence I was allowed to finish.